Hello everyone and welcome back to Hockey Talk. I'm your host Jack Brooks, and today I will be talking about what my predictions are for the 2019 Stanley Cup. So if you listen to my last podcast, you would know that I said the Vegas Golden Knights will lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 2019 Stanley Cup. And so with those two teams in my predictions in the Stanley Cup in 2019, my playoff MVP will be Sidney Crosby. Once again, if you listen to my last podcast, you know that I talked about Sidney Crosby powering through the playoffs, helping the team push through playoffs, really carrying them once again. And once Sidney Crosby turns on, as we all know, he can never be slowed down. Not to mention, without a question, he is the best offensive player in the NHL right now. As you can see, yes, I know he didn't make the cup last year, but what about the year before that and the year before that? He can literally just carry his team all the way through the regular season and even more through the playoffs. To me, in 2019, now that he has a taste for not winning the cup, he is just going to be more motivated and dedicated to really power through, and there will be no stopping him this year. Also, not only is he the best offensive player, but he is one of the best defensive players in the NHL. If you've seen the Penguins a lot, then you would know that once the puck gets into their defensive territory, they'll press on you and you'll be lucky to even get a shot off. Sidney Crosby does this tactics so well. He makes it look like it's just so easy when it's really not. His ability to do the impossible seems so easy, especially in the playoffs, just is unbelievable. There is no stopping him when he goes for a poach. Heck, there's no way that you can juke him out or get a pass off on him. And also, like I just said, he cannot be stopped in the playoffs. Once he reaches the playoffs, he just gets 10 times more motivated to push through and carry on his team. And now, if you're arguing with me, I am so sorry, but there's no doubt that he will be able to push through the playoffs this year, now that he is more motivated from not making the cup last year. Also, it's not only him on this team, okay? His team can help pick up an assist. I'm not saying that he's a one-man team. The Penguins are a very good team. They'll help him. But without a doubt, in the playoffs, he's going to be the star of this team and the number one player to watch once they reach the playoffs. Not if, at this point, it's really once. Now, yes, Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals should also be more motivated now that they have won the cup. But it is going to be so easy for him to now know and looking at what the Capitals can do to study their game and push through. If these two teams get in the series, I would personally really like to watch that because I think it would be a dogfight. But for me, without a doubt, the Pittsburgh Penguins will come out on top because, their defense, it's not just Sidney Crosby. They have one of the strongest defenses in the NHL. Same with offense. Their goal crease, even though they lost their star goalie to the Vegas Golden Knights in the expansion draft, their goal crease still has never looked better. The reason is because with the amount of backups that they have, if they need to switch out a goalie, you can't really tell the difference. And the goalies barely have to do any work because, like I said, the press coverage defense only allows you to pass it to the side and not move up on this team. And if you can, then you must be really good because it is insanely hard to push up on a team that is going press coverage on you in the defensive zone in the NHL, especially when one of those players is Sidney Crosby. And now Sidney Crosby, to me, if he reaches the Stanley Cup, and my prediction is correct about the Vegas Golden Knights. Yes, the Vegas Golden Knights have a strong defense, but there is no stopping Sidney Crosby and this Pittsburgh Penguins offense, especially in the Stanley Cup. Like I said, in the playoffs, he's just going to be motivated more and more now that he has a taste of not making the cup. But once he goes up against a team that lost the cup last year, he knows that they now know what it's like to be in the Stanley Cup and how they can push through on the Penguins' defense. That is also just going to help drive him be more motivated to win the cup. And also, I'm just going to say this ahead of time. I know last episode I did the bold predictions. This episode I'm not going to because I just decided I don't want to go too crazy with that. So I'm going to start doing it every other episode so people don't start to think I'm too crazy. But back to Sidney Crosby in the Stanley Cup. Yes, the Vegas Golden Knights have a strong defense and a strong offense. But even with a defense like the Vegas Golden Knights, that still won't be able to stop Sidney Crosby in the playoffs, more or less the Stanley Cup. Out of those two teams, he is definitely, in my opinion, the best player. And now that I really think that he can drive through and make it to the cup, once he gets to the cup, if he does against the Vegas Golden Knights, out of those two teams, he has to be the best player, the most motivated, the most dedicated, and he is going to carry his team with a little bit of help to the Stanley Cup and once again win it all. Now, I know a lot of people now are thinking that the Pittsburgh Penguins are the New England Patriots of the NHL. But, however, yes, they are, so a lot of people are hating them and hating on the Penguins. And for all of my fellow Penguin haters, because I'm not really a fan of them too, go Kings, I just like to say this. Yes, you might hate them, and yes, they might win too often, but you got to give them credit for what they have been able to do over the past few years. Same with Sidney Crosby. Whenever the Penguins have a healthy team, his stats just get up and up. And to me, once again, if you listen to my last podcast, you would know that I talked about how the Penguins not being able to push through in the playoffs was because of the fact that they couldn't stay off the DL. To me, this season, if they can stay off the DL along with Sidney Crosby, he can really drive through. And that's really no question. You got to give them credit to a healthy Penguins team and Sidney Crosby on what they can do, the amount of cups they've won, and how they can push through in the playoffs. So I am going to end it on that note. Please listen to my next podcast. It will most likely be tomorrow. And just a heads up, I'm going to be talking about my number 1 seed predictions for each conference. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you agree with what I have been saying about Sidney Crosby being able to push through. Please like the podcast, comment down below who you think will be the playoff MVP. Please listen to my podcast once again tomorrow for my number 1 seed predictions. And until next time, I'm Jack Brooks on Hockey Talk.